This is the 2024 Honda Civic Hatchback Sport Touring. Is it the best compact car? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Holmes Honda to take an in-depth look at this Civic Sport Touring. It has an exterior color of meteorite gray, and you can probably see, because of the sun shining into the interior, that it doesn't have a black interior. It has a gray interior. And I know a lot of you are saying, man, I want something other than black interior on my Honda vehicle or for my Honda vehicle. Well, in this particular case, that is definitely an option that you have. Very comfortable interior, by the way. A smooth, comfortable ride quality. The handling, if you haven't driven one of these 11th generation Civics, you need to, because in my opinion, it's better than ever. So let's dig in and find out exactly what we have with this model. As far as your lighting goes, if you are a fan of LED lighting, that's a good thing, because that's all you're going to find here. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights, and even LED tail lights on the rear of the vehicle. And as far as your safety features go with this hatchback, that has a very sporty look to it. You're going to find Honda sensing here, and that includes adaptive cruise control, road departure mitigation, lane keeping assist, traffic jam assist, collision mitigation braking. And it's not part of Honda sensing, but it is here, and it's a safety feature. Here's your blind spot information or blind spot monitoring. The side view mirrors are going to be manually folding, but they do fold in, so that's a nice convenience. Body colored mirror caps, turn signal indicators built in. They're heated and they're power adjustable. And we'll take advantage of the sun by turning in this direction and showing you the remote. There we go. Take a little bit more advantage, get rid of the shadow there, but you can see what all is here. Everything you expect. Remote start. You can push the button right here to pop the rear hatch open. Now, it's not dampened, or excuse me, it's not power, it is dampened. So we'll show you that in just a second here. That is a smart key, a proximity key. It has the walk-away feature, all of that right there. And I shouldn't say smart key, it's a proximity key. So let me correct that before anybody else does. Yes, that's just a little faux pas of the tongue. That does happen sometimes when you're trying to do everything in one take. And as I said earlier, here we finish things off with the LED tail lights, your Sport Touring logo right there, the Honda logo and the Civic logo. And the nice sporty lines, a real racy look, I would say, with the angle of the rear window here with this hatchback area. Gonna have your rear window wiper right there. And like I said, this is dampened. Tell me what you think. Should Honda offer a power rear hatch area? I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly. Pretty easy to open and easy to close as well. 24.5 cubic feet of cargo capacity. And yes, I'm going to show you how things look maximized with the rear seats folded down, folded as flat as they go at least. That definitely gives you a nice increase in potential space back here, even compared to the Civic sedan, because, well, you have more cargo capacity and more availability to store larger items, to haul larger items back here. And obviously, a little bit of extra space. You have the cargo tray right here that's going to help out and keep things safe as far as, or clean as far as what's underneath. And we're going to talk more about what's underneath here in just a second. We do have some lighting here as far as your cargo area goes. I don't know how well you can see that just because of the fact that it's nice and bright out here today. And one more thing, I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. Let's see, can I? There we go. That's your cargo cover right there, basically a retractable shade. And for those of you who say, you know what, Tom, one of my least favorite things in a vehicle is to have a tire repair kit instead of a spare tire. Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about that here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Here is your spare tire. And the good news is that there's a couple of different ways you can get the floor up and out of the way. You can see that right there. And depending on what you need to do, you can also position it like this, but it just depends on what you need to do. So there's a couple of different ways you can deal with that to get that out of the way. But the good news is that you can, and that gives you access to your spare tire and all the tools to change the tire. And if you're wondering what this little funnel is right here, in the event that you ran out of gas, with your gas tank right here, you have capless fuel fill. And what you would do is you would push this in, that opens the baffles within that area, the filler neck of the tank, and that way you can use a gas can to put gas in and get yourself going down the road again. Under the hood is the 1.5 liter direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinder. It makes 180 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 177, and I know a lot of you don't like the CVTs, although I believe that the CVT with this Civic is a little bit better behaved than some in the industry. You do have a second option here with the Sport Touring trim level, and that is a 6-speed manual transmission. And how about MPGs? Well, let's take a look. 30 city, 37 highway, 33 combined, and 3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And we talked about what that funnel was for earlier with this gas tank. How much can it hold? 12.4 gallons of gas. And let's talk about what your rear seat passengers are going to find and experience. They'll find the armrest right here and experience that it is pretty comfortable. Now, if somebody says they need more real estate for an armrest, they'll definitely have to go with calling shotgun. And the door bin right here that could be used as a door bin, really more of a bottle holder than a door bin, I would say, but that's what you have. The rear seat pocket only here on the passenger side, but it's there. And then the fold down armrest that has the cup holders built in right there. Now, there are no air conditioning vents back here. You know, we survived a lot of years with much larger vehicles that didn't have air conditioning in the rear seating area. So I don't think that will be an issue here, not only because it's just not a problem, but because you have a small enough interior where just no issues getting the air back here, whether it's warm or cold. But you will find something that I think is a necessity in the rear seating area in this day and age, a couple of USB ports. And as far as this model goes, you will find a conventional size sunroof. That's all that's available for the Civics as of this time. What do you think about that? Some of you want a panoramic sunroof, some of you don't. Some of you are okay with the conventional size. And if you're saying, well, what's your thoughts on that, Tom? I personally prefer no sunroof at all. And I realized that I forgot one thing, tire and wheel size. By the way, this is obviously a front wheel drive vehicle. So the width is 235. I have a 40 series sidewall wrapped around the 18-inch wheels. And we'll take a look into the front seat, starting with the passenger side. And as I mentioned earlier, you have more space here with the armrest. Just as comfortable as what we had on the rear, just a little more length, a little more real estate there, and a larger door bin. One thing you'll find here that I think will make everyone happy is power seats for the driver and the passenger. Both are heated, very comfortable seating, by the way, and a quick look across the dashboard area. Also, we're going to find the space within the glove box to be plentiful. And if you're wondering what's in here, if you ever need to change a tire and take advantage of the fact that you have a spare tire, the wheel lock key is in here. And what that is, this is the wheel lock key, that's the wheel lock. And when we look at the wheels, let's take a look real fast, just to show you how this works. What will happen is you notice all of the lug nuts look the same except for this one. That's the wheel lock, and that wheel lock key is going to be inserted into the tire iron, and then you can take that off. That way this vehicle is going to have tires and wheels that stay safe. No one can steal that. The good thing about that is that these are cut at the dealership. You can't just go on Amazon or eBay and buy those, and so you don't have to worry about somebody being able to easily steal your wheels. And those wheel locks are part of some of the additions that Holmes Honda has added here. So let me show you a couple of things for those who are saying, well, Tom, what is this Civic Sport Touring going to cost me? Well, $32,545 is your base price. Now, there is some additions here, let's say that correctly in case anybody who's an English teacher is watching the video today. But you can see what has been added. That does add a little bit to the price. How much is that going to make a difference on your monthly payment? Well, it really depends on a few things, but I can't say for sure for every person to the next, but probably $40 or so maybe. Based on what I was told by one of the finance guys here at the dealership, it's gonna be within that range. And I know everybody has different situations, but you know what? I just want you to be informed and see what's here. So, let's see what else we're going to find. Here is what the door panel offers on the driver's side. And here's how you're going to adjust all of them, or the two mirrors, all of them. I make it sound like there's a bunch, right? The side view mirrors, there's only two. And then we have the door locks right here. You have the front windows that are going to be one-touch windows as far as raising and lowering, and then the back windows won't be, but that's okay, no big deal there. Again, a power seat here for the driver. You can see some of your features right here. And then if you want to adjust the positioning of the steering wheel, you drop that lever. It's tilt and telescopically adjustable. And let's fire things up here, or start things up. I don't know. It doesn't sound appropriate to say fire things up with 180 horsepower, at least not to me, but it's okay. Either way, here's what we have. A nice modern look with the digital instrument cluster. You can see what all is here. Very easy to deal with, very easy to manage. Steering wheel mounted controls. And here's where you're going to control the functionality of the headlights and the fog lights and those other things that blink on the outside of the vehicle to let people know what you're doing when you're driving down the road and what your intentions are. I know a lot of you like to keep other drivers guessing, but some of us just don't like that. Yes, that's right. It's okay to laugh. Don't worry about it. Right here, I can't really give you that same laughing experience or humorous experience because, well, what can you really say that's funny about the lever that controls the front and rear window wipers? And also, you have, well, shifter paddles. Essentially, it basically mimics shifting through gears because obviously a CVT is a single speed. But don't forget, you don't have to have this shifter. You can have a different type of shifter and a third pedal down there. You can have that 6-speed manual transmission that makes these Civics so much more fun to drive. And here on the Sport Touring trim level is the 9-inch touchscreen. The more modern looking of the different screens that are available for the Civics, depending on trim level, you can either have the 7-inch or this 9-inch. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. It is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible, so that's a good thing. You can see how easy things are to deal with here. You have your vehicle settings right there, very easy to deal with because of the graphics. And then we'll go back, general settings, just as easy to deal with, but just don't have the graphics. So very simple. You also see that it said camera right there. What do we have for the camera? This is the rear view camera, the multi-view rear view camera. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, tell me, would you like to maybe have more camera views such as the Trail Sport and the Elite Pilots have? Obviously, the price would go up to some degree. I can't say how much, but what do you think about that? Would you like to have more camera views available with the Civic? And we have, like I said earlier, your heated seats for the driver and the passenger. Dual zone climate control, you can sync everything together. It's finally cool enough to have to turn the heat up a little bit here in Northwest Louisiana. And connectivity here in the front seat includes 2 USB options, a 12 volt, and there's also a wireless charging pad right there. And your conventional style shifter, and I think you know what everything else is that's here, but let's go through our driving modes. So we'll start here with normal. That's going to be obviously your default driving mode. You have Econ. We'll go up here to Sport mode, and that's what you have as far as your different driving modes go. Cup holders and the center console right here, offering quite a bit of space. The tray right here can be placed in the front or the rear, or just left out if so desired. And there is, well, for a compact car, I'd say a reasonable amount of space. All right, we're going to get out on the road for what I think is one of the best experiences with the 11th generation of the Civic, whether you go with the hatchback or the sedan version, and that's the driving experience. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if you haven't driven one of these Civics, the 11th generation version, you should. You might be surprised at what you experience, because the very first time I drove one a couple of years ago, I immediately noticed how it felt as if it was literally sucking itself down to the road. It just feels so firm and so planted. The handling characteristics are really, really phenomenal. And why is that? Well, for 2022, when this current generation came out for the 2022 model year, you had a retuned chassis and retuned suspension, and that made a big difference. So it really allows for the driving experience to be a lot of fun. And beyond that, you also have a comfortable ride quality for this style of vehicle. For a compact sedan, I think it rides well, at least. I know everyone's going to have their opinions, and that's why it's good to drive a vehicle for yourself, because what I might tell you in my test drive in a video might not be the same thing you experience when you put your hands on the steering wheel and take it down the road. And one other thing, you probably see it already, may have already noticed it, that I know a lot of you often ask for. While you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility, so you could use your favorite navigation app off your phone, whether it's Google Maps or whatever it may be, you also have built-in navigation here. And that's, speaking of that, let's talk about technology. I honestly think Honda has some of the, if not the most simplistic technology in the automotive industry out there. Not difficult to learn for people who are maybe new to something like this, and I'm sure there's still a lot of people out there who are. Easy to hunt and peck your way around. Maybe you're coming from another vehicle that had complicated technology in it. Well, you'll definitely have no problems here, that's a fact. And overall, just a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. With a comfortable ride quality, you also have comfortable seats. I don't feel like this would be an unenjoyable vehicle to take on a long road trip. Would be nice to maybe have a press car one day and find out about that. But for now, we can basically just make the rounds here, kind of go around the block here for today's video. But overall, a really enjoyable vehicle to drive. And even though I know over the years prices have risen on literally everything, I still feel that this Civic is reasonably priced when compared to a lot of other vehicles out there. Okay, tell me what you think. Is the 2024 Honda Civic Hatchback Sport Touring the best compact car? Tell me what your thoughts are and tell me why you answered the way that you did. It's always interesting to receive your feedback and see what you have to say. I appreciate all of you sharing your feedback and your thoughts on my videos. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this Civic for the day. If you want to know more about this exact model, check out the link down in the description of the video. I would also like to thank each and every one of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so you don't miss any future videos. Tell me what vehicles you would like to see me feature in future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing or simply learning about, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.